Look, you guys are smart. Well, some of you. I do read the comments. But none of us out here are starting riding motorcycles thinking that this is a safe activity. Like, nobody's ever made the argument to someone of like, look, I'm gonna start riding motorcycles because it's a safe thing to do. But what I have for you guys today are 5 gadgets and accessories that are gonna help you ride safer, and that way maybe you can enjoy riding just a little bit more. Also, if you're a loved one of a motorcyclist, make sure to send this along so they can be a little bit safer. Also guys, this video is sponsored by Break Free, but don't worry, we're gonna talk about those guys later in the video. Let's get into the first thing. All right, so guys, the first thing we're gonna hit on is something that's small and easily overlooked, and that is hearing protection. Now, I know a lot of you guys might be new to riding. You're like,
I love the way my bike sounds.
I'm not wearing any hearing protection.
It's not the bike noise that's gonna mess your hearing up, it's the wind noise around your helmet. See, the way hearing works is even in a super quiet room like this one, there's always a level of decibels of audio coming into your ear. So the way you get hearing damage is that decibel level goes over a certain amount and is sustained for a period of time. Obviously, very loud noises quickly can also damage it, but generally for motorcycle riding, it's that loud, sustained noise. So generally, what that is for motorcycles is when you're going down the road, normally in most helmets, it's about 55 miles an hour and up. The wind noise is loud enough to cause hearing damage if you don't have any sort of hearing protection. So you're looking at commuting down the highway or motorcycle touring or anything like that. For any sustained period of time, it's loud enough to cause damage. And hearing damage in your ears is not like, you know, you wreck your motorcycle, you break your arm, you get a cast, it heals up, and you're good to go. Once hearing damage is done, it cannot be fixed. And that's why I harp on hearing protection so much for you guys. So what options do we have? Obviously, if you guys wanted to use those little cheap tubs, it's like $5 for like a million of those things. So those are probably the cheapest option. The reason I don't really go with those little foam ones is because I don't like how much hearing loss I have when I'm using those. I can't really feel like I have a good understanding of my surroundings. The things I use are a little more expensive. They're 25 bucks. I have no affiliation with this company, but I've just been using their product for a while and I do appreciate them. They're called Loops, L-O-O-P. They come in this little carrying case, and what Loops are cool, or the way they're cool, is they have these little circles that go with them, and they have little different inserts. So you can customize how much audio or how much outside noise you want to come into your ear. That way, if you like that sound or that muting of everything, you can use one with a less of a circle in the middle. And then if you only need a little bit of hearing protection, you can change that out. I really like that customizability, and the most important thing for me, these things are small and comfortable. When I put them in my ear, they do not stick out at all. You could literally sleep in these if you needed to, and that's great for putting on your helmet. I've never had an issue with these, and I absolutely love them. So I can personally highly vouch these. Now, I know a lot of you guys are gonna have some sort of earbuds or AirPods or something like that, like in-ear music listening devices. And a lot of people I see say, why don't I just use those? You totally can. If you have a pair of AirPods, you can put these things in your ear, put your helmet on, and then the benefit is you get to listen to your music with those. My problem that I've had with these and trying to use that kind of stuff is generally, as far as I understand, most of these will stick outside of your ear a little bit. So what happens with me is when I put my helmet on, that little part that sticks out of the ear, when I put my helmet on, it either pushes them sideways, gets them in an uncomfortable position, or they just fall out entirely. Then you gotta take your helmet off, you gotta readjust it, get your helmet on, and hope that you get it on correctly. That's really frustrating, or at least I find that really frustrating, so I tend to avoid using my AirPods or any sort of like in-ear listening devices. But if you've got them, you can totally try it if your helmet fits on a little better than that. Also, something really weird that happened to me with AirPods one time is I was going to a press launch where I actually rode there, and when I got to where I was going, I was taking my helmet off and I had AirPods in because I needed routing or something like that. I took my helmet off and the AirPod fell out. To this day, I never found that AirPod. It was the strangest thing that's ever happened to me. It just disappeared. I have no idea to this day what happened, but I've just moved on and got another pair. But because of little weird stuff like that, I always just go for the Loops. They're cheap, so if something happens and I lose them, it's only 25 bucks and I'll just get another pair. But if you take anything away from this, get some sort of hearing protection. You will thank me later. All right, guys, so the next thing we're gonna talk about are trackers. So the reason tracking is so important is because a lot of the times we're out there riding solo, we're by ourselves, or maybe we're going on a big trip and something happens. You never know, flat tire, deer runs out on you, you get in a wreck, you're stranded. All of those things are issues that could come up while you're riding by yourself, and you need to rely on people to help you. And the first thing anybody needs to know when they're trying to help you while you're out there by yourself is where you are. Now, there's a couple trackers and there's two kind of user cases that I look at this. One, we have GPS trackers. So this is a Garmin InReach Mini 2, and it is a small little GPS tracker that doesn't need cell service at all. So something like this, I'm gonna recommend for somebody that's gonna go off-road a lot where there's not gonna be cell service. And this is gonna allow you to get in contact with your loved ones. There's an SOS button. You can text your loved ones and let you know, like when you get to a certain point, you can be like, you can do a little check-in and be like, hey, I'm alive, everything's good, awesome. Your loved ones will really appreciate this. Now, that is more of the off-road, big adventure side. It's really expensive. It costs like $8 a month to have the subscription to use the service. So that is more of the higher level tracking. Now, if you're just staying around town, your phone could literally do this. Like, my wife tracks me all the time of where I'm going just to make sure I'm moving and making sure everything's okay. So your phone could be in this group. I don't know what kind of phones you have, but if you have an iPhone, you can send your location to a loved one or something like that. So if you're ever out riding, I would recommend have somebody that you really trust allowed to have access to your GPS coordinates from your phone, because you never know what kind of situation you would get into. So you might have a phone and you just don't have your GPS open to somebody. So my suggestion would be the phone would be a free option. Find somebody as like that emergency person that you're gonna message. The whole point of the whole tracking thing is find somebody that you can really trust to help you in a situation that you're in a really bad spot, and share your GPS coordinates with them. Now, I know a lot of you guys are gonna be thinking,
oh, I'll just have a phone, I'll be fine.
But there's a lot of places in the US specifically, because that's where I am, so that's what I know. There's a lot of places in the US that even on roads, even in small towns, you have no reception. So that's why I'm always gonna default to a GPS dedicated tracker. Also, if something happens to my phone, it falls off the bike, it breaks, I still have something that's a little more rugged and has the tool. Like, this is only what that's for. So I prefer the GPS tracker, but if you don't have the money, you're not doing big adventures, the phone will totally do. Just get somebody that you can trust and let them track you. So guys, the next section we're gonna talk about is visibility. One of the most important things for a motorcycle rider, at least in my opinion. And this is the section that we are gonna talk about, the sponsor of this video, which is Break Free. Now guys, Break Free reached out to me and they're like, hey, we wanna do a sponsor video with you. And I started thinking about what videos I should make that they could sponsor. And it made no sense to not do a safety focused video for you guys, because in my opinion, this is one of the best safety conscious items you can get as a motorcycle rider. If you guys are not familiar with these things, I'll show you what they do. Basically, this wireless device is what goes onto the back of your helmet. So it's already gonna be way higher than your tail light or something like that. If I turn this on, you guys are gonna notice little lights. You can do blinking, you can do solid, and you can hit the button and it'll change all the settings. The cool part about the Break Free is it has a accelerometer inside of it. So when you brake on your motorcycle, either using your brake or when you are just engine braking where your tail light is not gonna come on and you start going forward, it will flash. This is the best way to get a car rider's attention. You're just going down, you start slowing down, nobody's gonna not notice that. Also, I don't know if you guys can tell, it is incredibly bright. My God. These things are fantastic. I'm gonna have the links for it in the description down below. Break Free, thank you for sponsoring this video and letting me give all these people all of this safety information. I love this product. Okay, so what if you maybe already have a Break Free or you don't feel like you need one? Other ways to stay visible is getting bright gear. Now, I will say, I have noticed that you would be shocked at how wearing highlighter gloves does not help you at all. I was actually riding a Triumph Moto 2 Street Triple. It is a highlight bike. I had a dark jacket on and then I had these highlighter gloves on. I got cut off in one lane by a car in my lane. I got in this lane and I got cut off by another car. And after that moment happened, I was like, okay, cool. Highlight colors don't seem to work. Obviously that was like a rare situation, I hope, but wearing brighter gear is definitely gonna help you stand out more. It's not gonna guarantee that people are gonna see you, but wearing highlighter gear will help. There are vests that you can get to go on top of your riding gear. There's all sorts of highlighter gear that you're able to get. Now, if you're able to do something with lights, car drivers are used to seeing lights. And as somebody that's already been hit in the back, I appreciate this type of thing. Think about it. Car drivers are used to seeing a car in front of them, the lights bright up or, light up, and then they're like, oh no, things are stopping. That's why that is so cool. And that's why I really push the break-free stuff. I love the product, and it's something that you can literally get, and they have these little tabs on the back, so you can pop this onto your helmet. You can take it off and charge it or whatever. But that way, if you get a new helmet, you just get a new little sticky mount and you put it on your new helmet. So these can be transferred helmet to helmet. It's definitely an investment in safety, so I really recommend a lot of you guys get it. I appreciate them sponsoring the video, but I appreciate y'all's safety like way more than that. So check out that if you want to increase your visibility on the road. Also, I know a lot of you guys are gonna comment this. Visibility on the road for motorcyclists is as much physical as it is lights and bright gear, but that's outside of the scope of this video. We're just talking about accessories that people can get. Oh, something to note, Breakfree's newest thing, the charging port is now USB-C, not the micro USB thing that this one has. So Breakfree, thank you for bringing us USB-C. Okay, next stuff. Wait, let's stop this section and go to the next one. I hate myself a little for that, but not entirely. So guys, the next thing we're talking about is, geez, something I wish I would have listened to myself or at least had this video a few months ago, and that is dash cams. A lot of you guys know I got in a wreck a few months ago, and y'all know I record everything I'm doing while I'm riding. And of course, on this ride, I had 3 cameras all recording. Me only. No recording forward, and guess what happened? A car pulls out in front of me and I run into it, and I have no video of looking forward. And I kick myself every single day for not having at least 1 camera looking forward. So that is why I tell you dash cams on this, because you never know what's gonna happen on the road and you never know where it's gonna come from. Having a dash cam on your bike, recording all the time while you're riding and only saving it when something happens will save you so much headache in the process of dealing with all the legal crap that happens afterwards. I'm still dealing with legal crap, and I feel like if I'd had a dash cam, it would have saved me from so many freaking headaches that I'm currently dealing with. Okay, so as far as dash cams, what kind of options do you have? So I've got 2 options on the table here. This is the Insta360 X4. It's a 360 camera. If you guys are new to 360 cameras, I know a lot of you guys probably know what this is, but just in case you don't, a 360 camera has a camera on the front, or a lens on the front and a lens on the back. I mount this camera right here. It can see this way, that way, that way, and that way, literally 360 degrees. I love these for dash cams because with a regular action camera, it has a wide field of view, but you point it in one direction, it's only looking in that direction. So I love the Insta360 X4 for that. I'll have links for all of the stuff and everything in this video in the description down below if you guys want to check it out. But 360 cameras are fantastic. The X4 has been a phenomenal camera. So I love this thing because of all the versatility you can have with it. You guys have probably heard me in other videos before, but I feel like the X4 is probably the best camera overall that you can have if you're a motorcyclist. So that is a fantastic option. The next option that I love is Insta360's new Ace Pro 2. One of the reasons I love this camera for a dash cam is because it has a dash cam mode. Insta360 has an entire mode set on this camera so where you can put it in dash cam mode, and when you start rolling, it films everything, but it doesn't save it until you tell it to save it. So basically, if you have a 10-minute buffer, it will start recording for 10 minutes, and after 10 minutes, it will start re-recording on top of itself. That way, you're always gonna have the last period of time. So that way, if something happens on the road, you stop it and you have all the stuff that led up to whatever it was that happened. Obviously, none of us want to get into a wreck, but if you do get into a wreck, guys, it's such a headache afterwards. Having a dash cam and having proof of what actually happened could save your butt. Now, if you don't want to go into a more accessory that you can put onto your motorcycle and take off, you can do something more permanent like I have on my MT10. I have the Chiggy setup. And basically that's that little AirPlay screen that you guys see when I ride my MT10 around. So not only does that have a GPS device that gives me my speed and all that kind of stuff, it also has a front and a rear camera, and those things are recording to an SD card on the device at all times. So you could also do something like that. That is going to involve more installation and generally be a little expensive. So you guys have options. If you want options that you can just put on your bike when you go for a ride, these are probably my two favorites. And if you want something more permanent that you install on that one motorcycle, you can definitely go with a setup like that. If you've only got one bike, that's a phenomenal setup because you never got to worry about it. It's powered off of your motorcycle. But if you're like me and you have multiple different motorcycles and you're always on different bikes, setups like these are a lot better, at least in my opinion, because that way I can just put it on when I need it and I can take it off when I don't need it. But just get a dash cam. If anything ever happens to you on the road, if anything, you have video of a story that one time that giant deer jumped out in front of you and you dodged it like Neo from the Matrix. Now you have proof of that. Or did it really happen? Whoever is to know. All right, let's go to the final stuff. All right, guys, final thing I'm gonna mention, and something I've been shouting from the rooftops ever since I got in my wreck earlier this year, and that is Airbag Vest. Now, these are also gonna be by far the most expensive part of this video, but let me tell you guys, when you get in a wreck with an airbag vest on, you never ride without an airbag vest on. And we've got a couple options that are different price levels. So in front of me here on the table, I have my Tech Air 5. This is the Alpinestars Tech Air 5. It is the actual unit I got in my wreck in earlier. What airbag vests are gonna do is they're gonna go on over or under your gear. The Tech Air 5 is made to go underneath your gear, whereas the Tech Air 3 that I have on here is made to go underneath or on top of. But when you get into a wreck, the accelerometers inside of the airbag vests are going to sense that you're getting into a wreck, and they are going to inflate in milliseconds. And so they're the in-between. So you hit the object, your body starts to come off the bike or something like that, airbag vest pops off, and then you hit, and then all the stuff happens, and then it slowly deflates as you're laying on the ground. It's a very unfortunate situation. Ask me how I know. So I can personally vouch for the Tech Air 5. I've done the whole process. I've used it all day. I've gotten in a wreck with it. It's inflated. I've sent it back to Alpinestars. They repacked it, and now I have it back, and now I'm wearing it. Then all you gotta do is on the daily, you keep it charged. I typically have to charge this maybe once a week generally, just to keep it fully charged and ready to go. Now, the Tech Air 5 of all the group that we're talking about is gonna be the most expensive. Then if you want something a little cheaper because you wanna just get into airbag technology, there's the Tech Air 3. This, like I said, you can see it goes on top of or underneath your riding gear, so you don't have to wear it underneath your, already heavy stuff when you're in the summertime or something like that. And then there's other options. It's not just the Alpinestars stuff. This is just the stuff I have access to right now. Helite also makes a backpack that we featured on the channel before. It has the airbags on the inside. Helite's pretty cool, and it's one of the cheaper options you can get. And there are two options. You have the tethered system, so it's like a little vest with a book bag on the back of it, and you tether yourself to the motorcycle. So the cool thing about that is it's a lot cheaper because there's no tech to deal with, and you don't have to charge anything. So if you guys aren't really into trusting technology to go off when it's supposed to, the tethered system of that Helite backpack might be best for you. Helite also has a option that you have to charge that has accelerometers in it and stuff like that. So I think that one might be cheaper than the Tech Air 5. Prices change so often, so I don't really want to say it in the video, but we'll have the info for the two Helite options, the Tech Air 5 and the Tech Air 3 as well. At the end of the day, airbag technology is probably in the future is what's going to lead to motorcycles getting safer and safer. It's the closest we can get as a motorcyclist to having an airbag like a car does. So I know they're expensive. It is definitely an investment that you're making into your safety, but I will tell you guys this. After my wreck, I'm over here watching the billing things that come in and how much stuff costs. It is insane. And I had an airbag vest on, and I didn't really get hurt that bad. But obviously I went to the hospital and stuff like that, and seeing how much just the most minuscule thing costs when you go to the hospital, you start looking at a $600 airbag vest for your motorcycle, and you're like, oh yeah, that's not really that much. And I didn't even get in that bad of a wreck, so I could not imagine if it was like a really terrible wreck. Bro, I don't want to know. So I've made it my mental mission to spread the word and help you guys understand how important airbag technology is. I want you guys to start riding and stay riding, and the way you stay riding is you wear the right gear, you stay as safe as you possibly can, you ride as safe as you possibly can, and hopefully you guys become lifelong riders. That is what I'm trying to do here on this channel, and airbag vests and airbag technology is definitely the way to go. I am not paid by Alpine Stars, I'm not paid by Helite or anything like that. I just want you guys to ride as safe as possible, and from my experience, from my hands-on experience, airbags are the best way to go, because something's gonna happen to you while you ride. There's no way to get around it, and when it does, you definitely want to have something like this on. God, how terrible would it be if I just like did like that and... All right, my friends, that is it for all the stuff that I think you guys can grab to help you stay safer while you ride. Get your hearing protection figured out, get some sort of tracker so a friend can know where you are when stuff's going down. Get your visibility figured out either by grabbing a brake free or getting some highlighted gear. Record every part of your ride with a dash cam, no matter what camera you're using. And at the end of the day, if you can afford it, grab an airbag vest of some sort to help you just in case something actually happens. I authentically use everything you guys are looking at on this table to stay as safe as I possibly can while I ride, and I wouldn't recommend it to you if I didn't use it myself on the daily. Guys, if you want any information on the stuff you've seen in this video, I'm gonna have links for everything down below. Some of them are affiliate links, some of them aren't, but I appreciate you guys using my links regardless. Guys, go out there and ride safe, and leave in the comments down below something that you use every time you go ride to make your riding a little bit safer. And that way we can share the info with everybody. Guys, I'm Chaseontwowheels. Put OC in your comment if you made it to this point in the video. And you guys go out there and ride safe. Tell you guys this all the time. See you guys on the next one. Later. Can you imagine the conversation you'd have to have with somebody if they hit you when you had this on the back of your helmet and you slow down and like it starts going crazy? And you're like, oh, I didn't see you. Oh, really? You didn't see this. You didn't see this. Idiots.